Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planet. I am your host, Michael Karvelis, and this is Daily Dive. It is Friday, April 17th, 2026, and this show begins now. Thank you so much for tuning in to North American Talk Radio's YouTube channel. And thank you for subscribing and liking and commenting and all kind of good stuff. It really helps us out a bunch. On today's awesome show, I'm going to first get into our Pick'em and the Week 21 preview. I will go through all 9 games and who I think wins. Also, Tim Dillon has not given us his picks yet, but hopefully we can post those a little bit later because a lot is on the line for Week 21, but we'll get to that. Then we'll show a pre-recorded video of Gamble Guy and his best bets for this weekend. And finally, I'll unveil myself, Pat Gregar, and Gamble Guy's picks, our best bets, because that race is also very tight. Before we get started, this show is presented by the NLL merchandise found at natalkradio.us/NLL. United States residents can go there and buy NLL merchandise. While Canada cannot buy the NLL merch, they can shop other places on Amazon, but go there and it takes you straight to that store. We appreciate you. And for those of you on mobile, if it goes to our page, just click the NLL merchandise logo, then you go to Amazon. Same thing. The mobile and desktop are very weird. I don't know why, but that's how things are working right now. We thank you for your support regardless. There are 9 games this weekend that we are about to get to, so let's talk about them here on Daily Dive. As we know, there is a bunch of playoff hopes on the line, but only 2 spots are remaining. So I will pull up this graphic the NLL posted. I should have saved this like moments before the show. I did not. Excuse me. So this weekend, of course, 9 games, including 2 teams with a double header. The first teams with a doubleheader are Vegas and San Diego. Now, if you look at this right here, on the top quadrant on the screen, Las Vegas, if they beat San Diego twice, they're in, or 1 win, so they split the series, and then 2 Rochester wins. Rochester plays Georgia. San Diego flipped that. They beat Vegas twice, or they can split it and they get 1 Georgia win. San Diego is in the better spot, considering they don't need 2 Georgia wins or 2 Rochester wins. When they split, they just need the Swarm to split. That is way better odds for them if indeed you do not split, if you don't sweep your weekend. Why is that important? Because this weekend, they play twice, obviously. Tonight at 10:30 Eastern, Las Vegas travels to San Diego. Historically, San Diego has won this game at home. Now, I will give you a full disclosure. This game, to me, no one in media wants to say it, and I don't want to think that things are happening like this. But I would not put it past. I'm not saying the NLL is even in on it for the record. I'm saying when you have a Joe Tsai with his hands on both teams, let's just say we know enough about Joe Tsai by Googling things to not put it past them to split this weekend or favor one team over the other. You can argue it. You can clip this. You can say whatever you want. It is not morally wrong for me to say that based on what he has done in the past, okay? And again, I'm not saying the NLL is in on it. I'm not saying players are in on it. I'm saying I would not put it past Joe Tsai for this. I don't want it to be true, but that's why, as a best bet standpoint, I don't think that's a thing. And by the way, I'm not going to have a league run show one day, so I'm okay saying that. But take that in mind when I talk about these two games between Vegas and San Diego. Because we're doing on the NLL like actual competitive standpoint, but in the back of my mind, I can't help but think about that kind of stuff. I'm sorry. Like, don't shoot the messenger here, all right? But let's get into this first matchup, all right, in San Diego. Here's the thing. It's also on ESPNU, for the record. And again, I keep telling people in Canada, literally no, I cannot tell you how many people do not watch that channel. Like, nobody watches ESPNU, but if you happen to have it on your TV, turn it on for the NLL sake. How's that? All right. I think the Seals are going to win this one 12-10. I trust the goaltending of San Diego more. I think that if Sean Williams is not pushing the goalie buttons at the proper time, Vegas could be in trouble. And again, historically speaking, this matchup, I know these two teams are new, but San Diego is favored in these matchups. So, like I said, I think Aurelieri has played really well the last 5 or 6 games he's played. He had a rough start to the year. As for Vegas, there is rumors out there that maybe Chase Fraser plays one or both of these games. There's also a possibility he plays none, which, again, I think it's insane. Like, I find it it's another thing that, like, bugs me about the injury transparency. Can we just tell people, can we please just tell people right away if this guy has a torn something or other? Because that would save us so much crap. And I know alt sports data and the people trying to help out the betting, it's like, why do we not know what Chase Fraser's injury is? There's no excuse for that, in my opinion. Like, if the guy's out for a long time, tell me that. I don't like when fans have to guess if a guy might play or he's out for another 6 months. We don't know. And the fact that he could play it's dumb to me. It's dumb. I would like Chase Fraser to play this weekend. I'm not blaming Chase Fraser. I think the NLL's lack of transparency for injuries is just something that really bugs me sometimes. Like, why do we not know this stuff? I'm not doing it. The tinfoil hat will stay on until we get accurate stuff here. But again, I think even if Fraser plays, I do think Seals win the first game. Absolutely. Again, their defense is better. Their offense will have to do a little bit of the lifting here. And I don't put much weight into them beating Georgia. I don't think Georgia is good at home. I don't think that the Swarm's offense compares to anybody in the league right now. They're about as bad as the Wings on offense. But I think the Seals, their physicality, their transition is going to bother Vegas in game 1. I like the Seals. Odds for this game, BetMGM has the Seals as far down as minus 155. Coolbet has them at minus 152. The total hovers around 22.5. Next game, Rochester at Georgia tomorrow at 4 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time. So 1 o'clock for those of you on the West Coast. I think the Nighthawks get the win on the road. I told you guys yesterday, it is interesting. Rochester, I know they're eliminated, but they, next to Philadelphia, like I said yesterday, they might be one of those dangerous eliminated teams of all time. Everyone's playing for a job. Everyone's coaching for a job next year. Seneca Nation showed us they are not afraid to pull the trigger on anything. And I think that matters. And I think Rochester is not just going to lay down this weekend. I think they do get a road victory. I think their goalies have to matter. I could see a scenario where one starts one game and one starts the other. As long as the first goalie that starts this game can hold serve against that bad Georgia offense, which is very possible, I think Rochester pulls away. I think Rochester wins 11-8. They might only need 10 goals to win this game. I think 11 would feel more comfortable. But I could see a scenario where, again, if I'm just trusting the goalie of Rochester to make sure Georgia's offense does not go crazy, which, again, does not happen, I think Rochester wins this game. This game has a 20.5 total across all United States sports books. CoolBet has it at 21.5 in case you really like the under here. I'm just scared of what if the goalie of Rochester does give up a bunch. Even then, 21.5 is quite the number if anyone wants to add that under. I did not, but I could see a scenario where I would be okay with that. Georgia's favored -175 on DraftKings and BetMGM. On CoolBet, they're up to -204. I find that, again, I think Rochester wins it. I was actually shocked to see how favored Georgia was. Like, I do think Rochester, when they played Halifax, ran into a little bit of a buzzsaw on defense that was super motivated. I can see Rochester making Georgia look silly at points in this game because I think they're playing with a lot of pride, and I think their offense and defense has looked better despite maybe the results not showing it. I think Rochester wins. And again, -204, that's a lot. I'm going to turn on the VPN real quick. I mean, I'm sure it's like a plus 180 or so for Rochester. But if you're in Canada right now, well, I'm going to help y'all out here. Plus 165. I like that. I really do. So that's what I like for Rochester. For Georgia, by the way, I noticed they can get to a 4 seed if a lot happens. They can only drop to the 6. So they are most likely playing a road matchup against Buffalo, Saskatchewan, or Toronto, based on the could happen that I found out. Again, if you go on NLLstats.com/could happen, it's an interesting thing to look at. But I think Georgia, again, they're going to be in the 5 or 6 regardless. The 4 might happen. If they sweep Rochester, obviously, they might get a home game. I'm also going to tell you now, I don't think Georgia cares to play at home. I don't think they care. All right, so, again, I think Rochester wins. So that's my thoughts on that game. I'm surprised if they were that big of underdogs. The next game on Saturday, tomorrow, at 7 o'clock Eastern, is Buffalo at Oshawa. I think Buffalo controls this game. Matt Vince has been awesome. There is a scenario where you see right there with Buffalo getting the 1 seed, and that is if they beat Oshawa and Georgia sweeps Rochester, Calgary would have to upset Colorado, and the Wings would have to upset the Warriors. Now, obviously, the Wings game is the one that would really be crazy because Calgary, the last 5 meetings, has actually beaten Colorado in Calgary. But this year's Roughnecks are not as good as those Roughnecks, which I'll get to next. And the Wings probably already had 2 Super Bowls in 1 season, which I'll also get to. But again, Buffalo's still fighting for a 1 seed for what it's worth. I think Buffalo controls this game. Interesting fact, last year, this is crazy, but last season in March, the Buffalo Bandits played the Albany Firewolves in Albany on March 22nd. Dane had 1 goal. Dane had 2 goals. Josh had 1 goal. Dyson had a hat trick. Ty Kurtz had 2 goals. Alex Simmons had 2 goals. And folks, the Firewolves actually won that game 11-10 in overtime. That was the Dyson Williams game, right? So I don't think the Firewolves win this game. I would be scared to death, honest to God, of picking the Bandits minus 2.5. I actually went under in this game because I think Buffalo's defense has been nice. I think Oshawa, their offense cannot score. I don't. 10 goals is going to be tough for me. If they can score 9, I would be more comfortable, which their offense obviously does not score a lot. I think we're going under 23.5. I believe, yeah, so that's tied for the most point total of the weekend. I think Buffalo controls the game. I think they win again 12-8. Captain, a little bit behind the curtains here, when we handicap these games, Captain said 12-6. Just saying he's going to be in Oshawa, I think. So I won't be, so you guys can talk to him, not me. But I'm just saying we both went under heavily on that game. I do think Buffalo wins, obviously. The best Buffalo Bandits money line is minus 225 on BetMGM. It's up to 250 on CoolBet. It makes sense, though. And they're minus 2.5 across the board, obviously. All right. Actually, let me check this real quick. I don't know if I remember this correctly. I was wondering if I saw a Bandits minus 1.5. I don't think I did. I don't know why my brain is remembering that for some reason, but oh well. Let's move on to the next game. Colorado at Calgary. I told you guys that historically, and even recently, the Roughnecks have owned this team when they play in the Rough House. The problem with that is those teams they don't compare to this year's team. Like even last year's team had Nick Rose. This year's team, Colorado, I honestly would love to see, again, another transparent health thing, which no one seems to care about telling us, but where all the fans are left in the dark. Again, I don't like it. It would be nice to know, I'll be honest, do any of us know if Andrew Q is out long-term? No, we don't, and that's, again, what pisses me off here. So I'm going to take this time to say, if he's not hurt badly, I would like to see Andrew Q against Tanner Cook for the goal-scoring title. Again, Andrew Q, in albeit 12 games, has got 45 goals. Tanner Cook has got 47. Jeff Teat, 41, Curtis Dixon, and Alex Simmons have 40 each. But, again, something to think about, if he's not hurt long-term, it would be cool to see Andrew Q and Tanner Cook battle. Now, obviously, Andrew Q would have to score 3 goals, and Tanner Cook would have scored none, but we'll see. Or maybe if Andrew Q doesn't play, if Tanner Cook gets a hat trick, he reaches a 50 spot, which would be kind of cool. Now, I think the Mammoth win the game because, again, even if Andrew Q does not play, now I'm putting a little bit of stock into Colorado going up 7-0 on Saskatchewan. I also think the Rush have been awful for weeks now. So, well, I do think that mattered. I think the Roughnecks will not go down 7-0. How's that for you? I still think the Mammoth win the game. I'll go 12-10 Colorado. I originally picked the Roughnecks earlier in the week, but again, a lot of that was me saying, oh, well, maybe the historical stuff matters, but once you compare it, God bless Aiden Walsh, God bless Kobe Bowman, they're not Nick Rose, they're not Del Bianco. And the offense is not even the same either. So I think Mammoth can win this game. I think they will win this game. And at the 1 seed, if they win this game against Calgary, they're the 1 seed. So they win, and they are the 1 seed. Now, if they don't win, they need the Wings and either Rochester or Oshawa to win. I think winning against the Roughnecks is going to do them wonders, obviously. And I do think Denver home floor absolutely matters. So we're on to Rock and the Saskatchewan Rush. This game, the total is at 21.5 across the board. This game is at 9 o'clock Eastern, so is the Colorado-Calgary game, by the way. Listen, man, This is kind of like the stinking, this reminds me of my Oshawa and Rochester stuff. Why do I keep doing this? I don't know. I've got the Rush, though, to win 10-8. I think this game does go under. And if you want the Rush to win, they are minus 130 on BetMGM. Minus 134 FanDuel, all the way up to minus 145 on DraftKings. I think the Rush win. I think the Rock have been nice. Now, if Mark Matthews is out, I think the Rush definitely win. But even if Mark Matthews plays, I am confident in the Rush to win this game. Why? There's no way they go into the playoffs limping this badly. I know there's been a few weeks where I'm like, yeah, now they turn around. This team did show us they were good. And they were at one point in the season with, again, no injuries that we can think of here. The Rush were the first team to clinch a playoff spot. So I think that's going to show up. I know that Toronto won this game 13-9 in Hamilton. I'm not worried about it. I think the Rush win this game. And I believe the Rock have actually owned this series, which, again, does not make sense. I don't know why the Rock seem to take this team personally, but I'm going to go against the odds. I think the Rush win. I was surprised the Rush were as favored as they were, but I'll still take the Rush to win this game. I think under 21.5 is also going to work as well. The Rush this season, 9 of their games have gone under 21.5. 8 of the Rock games have gone under 21.5 for those keeping counts. At 10 o'clock, the first of 2 games at 10 o'clock, Seals at Dogs. I think the Seals sweep the weekend. Again, the fact that if Seals win game 1, which I think they will do at home, Las Vegas is in trouble. Because again, Vegas has got to count on the Nighthawks, who are already eliminated, being the Swarm 2 games. All right? Which can happen, by the way. But the Dogs, again, at that point, if they've already lost, according to my book, then I think the Dogs are in big trouble. Now, again, this would be the game the Desert Dogs can pull off, in my opinion. It will be in Henderson. The place will be rocking, obviously. I think Dogs have the best chance to win their home game. But again, if all conspiracies are off, I think Seals will show they're the better team. I think defense wins these types of games. I think that now Chase Fraser playing at home would be interesting. But again, since we don't know that, I'm going to ride with the Seals. I'm going to go with the sweep. There's a lot of people that from day one were so high on the Dogs, and I never knew why. This little stretch has been nice. Las Vegas, before they got smacked by Joe Tsai's Philadelphia Wings, they had beat Rochester twice. They beat Calgary 10-9. Are those teams good? We don't know. They played Colorado and got smacked 13-8. All right? I think the Seals are going to sweep the weekend, and it will not be surprising for me. Based on the way these teams have played the last month, I like the Seals. I think preseason it was always the Seals. Desert Dogs, if there is some magical 5-year plan, year 1 is supposed to be what Pat Gregor calls pain. Philadelphia Wings at Vancouver Warriors, the last game we actually have betting odds on. Saturday, 10 o'clock. The Philadelphia Wings this season, what they did to end the season was really stinking awesome. I have said that they've known all year this was coming. The players knew it. I promise you there's no way they didn't. I've said it for over a year. They knew this was happening. Either fold or relocate. Hopefully relocate, obviously. But I truly believe that they've run out of their pixie dust, all right? I think the Warriors are going to win this game 13-7. I could see the Wings kind of trying to, get a goal or two late. But I think they are going to lose this game. I think the Wings are going to lose. I don't think we're going to have to worry about it. The Wings have won 2 in a row to get to 5-12. They beat the Rock 12-9 on a Sunday game that was weird. The Desert Dogs game was the weird one because, like, wait a minute, like, how did you guys control that game if the Dogs are a playoff contender? And by playoff contender, I mean they're a team that could make the playoffs. Wings are nowhere close to that. So my thing is, you're now running into the biggest dog you faced. The Warriors are going to win this game by 3 or 4 goals, in my opinion. I landed on 13-7. What's interesting about that, the United States markets have this game at 19.5. CoolBet has it at 20.5. So that's interesting. Maybe it was the Vancouver Warriors who had the -1.5 I was thinking about. Yeah, they do. So on BetMGM, there's 1.5. I believe there's more books that actually have that. I'll check that during the break whenever Gamble Guys segment is airing. But yeah, if you wanted them -1.5, I actually don't mind that at all. Yeah, I did pick that on my best bets, so that's why I was confusing myself there. But yeah, I also, again, I like the under 20.5. I think the Warriors offense, Nick Damoud has been awesome. And I think Deacon Knott has also been good. No matter who starts, it should be Damoud. But no matter who starts this game, I think the Wings defense can hold them to 13 max. If they do that, probably 12 or 11. But if the Wings defense can do that, I think the Warriors defense will hold its ground, and the Del Biancos will help us get under 20.5. So, here are our pick'em for this week. I'm checking the DMs again, and good old Timmy Dillon decided to sleep after seeing the text. He said, I'm just going to fall asleep on you. It's fine. Bang! You're like, well, why does it matter he fell asleep? And now you see why, all right? So, basically, the standings right now are incredible. Like, in pick'em, I've got 54.70%. Obviously, one game over Tim Dillon. Captain is at 53.33. So it will come down to the final week. And right there, the first 4 games, myself and Captain have the same 4 teams. This is where it gets a little bit interesting, where Captain takes the Seals in game 2. Wait, I did 2. I have to change that because I don't know why. I said it on the air and then I completely went it back. I apologize. I did pick the Seals to win that game. Whatever. I'm going through it right now. My bad. And then this game we're also different on. You know what? Screw it. Man. You know what? I'm going to go with the Dogs. I'll keep the Dogs. I will keep the Dogs. Captain says he wanted to see our picks and plan around it. This week's winner takes all, and loser gets booed until we can't boo no more. Yeah, you're right. No, I will take this. I will take the Dogs. I'll stand firm with that. I'll take the Dogs at home. I'll take the split there. I still think Seals make the playoffs. There you go. And then, of course, I have the Swarm beating Rochester. So there you go. I'm pretty sure based on Captain's metrics there, he's got the Dogs making the playoffs. There you go. Because he's got Rochester in both games. Ooh. All right, folks. So that's the pick'em. The best bets are also a tight race right now. We will unveil Pat Gregoire, myself, and Gamble Guy's best bet on the other side. But when we come back, it's Gamble Guy who's got a video breaking down his best bets. Get some fun with it. We'll be right back.
You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com. Thanks for listening.
Little Mikey Karvelis. All grown up. No place to be. Gamble guy here. Welcome. 2 days after tax day, April 17th. Truth be told, cat's out of the bag, babe. Meow. This is being recorded Thursday evening because Daddy's got some tennis to play, some landscaping to do, and I'm building a few cool things on my property here. So I couldn't join Mike live. Mike, I miss you, man. When this whole thing blows over, I want to come back on the show and actually talk to you. So, since I'm recording this Thursday night, I do need to warn you. Daddy's got a little bit of red wine. I've got Chateau Saint Michel, Indian Wells, Merlot from the Columbian Valley. About 4 years old there. Not bad. Oh, so this is going to be a little bit of a longer Gamble Guy segment. But I do miss going live on North American Talk Radio. But I knew, I got to make my hay. What do they say? Make your hay when the sun shines. So, I'm off making money, doing my thing, enhancing my property. I can't always go live on North American Talk Radio. But I do love my segment on Daily Dive. I'm doing pretty good. I think I'm like 12 over 500. Plus 12 units. I think I'm in second place now behind Pat Gregoire. I mumble. We'll get it down here. So, we're going to sip a little wine. It's going to be a little longer than I normally do. Hopefully Michael doesn't get fussy. We know how Michael gets. He gets a little fussy. But it's okay because I have been doing really good. And, folks, a little backstory. This is my first year watching the National Lacrosse League, and I'm like plus 12. I'm like almost 60% right on my picks. Truth be told, there's a lady in my life, so I didn't watch much last weekend because she took up a lot of my time. But I'm looking forward to the playoffs. I'm going to be watching the playoffs. Hopefully we can do a watch party. But let's get into it. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to bring up my picks all at once. I never do this, but I'm going to kind of read through them. Well, maybe I'll just go through them and then I'll bring up the graphic and kind of summarize. Hold, please. Red wine break. Woo! Oh, I hope you're not jealous, but it is when you're watching this about 1:06 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on a Friday. So, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Maybe you're drinking too. All right, let's get into it. Cool Bet is where I'm betting because I have a VPN that thinks I'm in Montreal. So the problem with what I'm doing tonight on a Thursday is they did not give me the Seals and Desert Dogs version 2. I got the first matchup, and then they didn't give me the Swarm Nighthawks version 2. I got the first matchup. So I wanted to pick all the games like I do every week, but let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8. There's 9 games this weekend. I have 7 picks. So we're going to get right into them. The first one, I love it when you have 2 teams right on the cusp of the playoffs. And that's what we have with the San Diego Seals and the Las Vegas Desert Dogs. I got to move my bottle of wine because I can't see my notes over there. Oh! All right, we'll put it right there. I love it when a plan comes together and you have 2 teams right on the cusp of the playoffs. So the Seals are in 8th, 7-9. The Desert Dogs are in 9th. 7-9, right? So, and they have a back-to-back, and that's the part I love about this weekend coming up is we have all these storylines about playoffs, and who's going to make it, who's going to win, who's going to get in, and then you have all these back-to-backs that are meaningful. They're meaningful, so that's kind of exciting. So what I'm looking at here is, we got the Seals and the Dogs back to back. First game's in San Diego, second game's in Las Vegas. It's not a long trip for anybody. They're fairly close to each other geographically. So I kind of, my thinking here is, the Seals are coming off a win over the Swarm. And I'm going to get to the Swarm. They are who we thought they were. They're trending down. If they were a stock, it would be pointing down. So they are, but the Seals are coming off a win against the Swarm. Now, they were on a 5-game losing streak before they beat the Swarm 9-7 last week. So did the Swarm victory save their season? We will find out. But that meant something to me. And then I'm looking at Las Vegas, and they're kind of trending down a little bit too. Now, mind you, they did play the Mammoth. They lost 13-8, but the red flag, if you will, the stinky armpit that I'm noticing is they lost to the Philadelphia Wings. Fly like a bird. The Wings they lost to. And they didn't just lose to the Wings last week. They got doubled up 11-5. So that's what I'm looking at. Now, I did notice that San Diego is slightly better on the road, believe it or not. They score almost 2 more goals and give up 1 less goal on the road. But the same is true for Las Vegas. I think Las Vegas, I'm going to bring that up real quick. Las Vegas, it's about even. Las Vegas is probably just a tick better at home because they have 1.5 goals more at home and about the same goals allowed. So I merely pick this, and again, I'm like plus 12 or something like that. I'll take it. I mean, I'm sure better people out there. El Capitan with Daily Dive is a better picker than me. Pat Gregoire is beating me. I understand, but I'm kind of proud of how I've been picking this year. And a lot of, if you've watched Daily Dive on Fridays, I pick based off vibe. And I'm just feeling the split here. I think, they're tied in the standings, 7-9, 7-9. I love the drama of the standings and who makes it, who doesn't make it. I see a split here. I see the Seals winning this. And, if the Seals win this, I'm wondering if that officially eliminates the Dogs. This is where I wish I was live with Michael. He could tell me. But then I see the Desert Dogs winning at home. But for tonight's game, the 17th. Yeah, tonight's game, sorry. I see the Seals winning this. And I went straight money line. I didn't go crazy. I just went money line because I had minus 152. But the whole back-to-back, both teams kind of seem to play a little better on the road. Vegas is just a little better at home than the Seals are at home. It's just a vibe pick. So Seals minus 152. Now, when you see my graphic that I pull up for the next game, it's going to say the Georgia Swarm versus Gloucester. Okay? Not Rochester. They're Gloucester. Rochester's minus 22 in goal differential. Now, am I that confident with the Georgia Swarm? Answer, I am not that confident with the Georgia Swarm. So I didn't pick a winner. I went over-under on this one, babe. If you look at Georgia's last couple games, like they lost to the Seals 9-7, or beat Ottawa 12-7, right? They lost to the Wings 9-5. The last 2 months. I'm just cherry picking games. Calgary 11-6, Philadelphia 11-6, right? But again, they're playing Gloucester. I'm going the under 21.5 on Georgia Gloucester. Under 21.5. Which brings us to, and by the way, Georgia, they seem safe. I mean, we only have 2 games left, but they could lose a seeding spot, which could be big too, right? I mean, they're in 10-6. Let's say Ottawa wins out, right? 16-7. Ottawa's 9-9. Let's say Georgia 10-8. Georgia still holds there. Okay, Georgia, I think maybe is safe in 6th place. Ooh, that kind of hurts, but that's okay. I took the over-under. I'm sticking with the under 21.5. All right, let's get to the Ottawa match. Ottawa-Halifax. Now, how are you going to pick a game? Like, Ottawa's in 7th. It's kind of a must-win. They're on a 4-game losing streak. Kind of scares you, right? Halifax is on a 1-game losing streak, 7-10. Does Halifax have an outside chance? They absolutely do. They absolutely do. A lot has to happen. I think Adam Levy put out what has to happen. Halifax looked good against Vancouver, 8-7. They lost. The Del Biancos held them to only 7. Before that, they beat Gloucester in the Wings. But I'm going through Halifax's schedule, if you will. They lost to Vancouver, playoff team. They beat Rochester. They beat Philadelphia, non-playoff teams. They lost to Georgia and Toronto, playoff teams. That's kind of the trend for about the last month and a half. Okay? That's Halifax there for you. Kind of beating the teams they should beat, losing to the teams they should lose to. Ottawa, on the other hand, is on a 4-game losing streak after a 4-game winning streak. So they went 4-game winner, 4-game loser. But Ottawa's last 3 losses are to the cream of the crop, kind of Toronto Rock, Georgia Swarm, Vancouver Warriors. They need this game. Ottawa needs this game badly, absolutely badly. And for some odd reason, Ottawa plays better on defense. I can't wrap my head around it. They play better on defense on the road, right? And they have a .500 record on the road. I just think, and again, I'm a vibe picker, okay? I'm a vibe picker. Ottawa's sitting in 7th. They see that San Diego and Vegas have a back-to-back. If Ottawa loses, they're 8-10, right? They're kind of safe. They're kind of safe. But if they lose to Halifax all of a sudden, now we have this log jam for 8. This is a must-win for Ottawa. And I feel like, Halifax has some motivation. Ottawa has a lot more motivation in this. And I'm going with it. And I'm not going with it on the easy route, right? Because, if you look at the money line, it's -103 for Ottawa, -118 for Halifax. In my mind, that's a pick'em. So I thought, okay, it's a pick'em. I want to go back to... I wish you could see my screen. I should be sharing my screen. So these teams that they play, they played. Ottawa won at home 13-11. When was that though? That was January 9th. So I went down. I scrolled down, and Halifax at home scores 10.5, allows 10. Whereas on the road, they score 10.1, allow 10.7. So, I'm sorry, that's Halifax. Ottawa beat them by 2. All right? You know what I picked? I went Ottawa plus 1.5. I took Ottawa and the points, 1.5 points, -154. I'm taking some points. I think it's the first time this season I took points. So, right there it is. There's the first time Gamble Guy's taken points all season. All right? The next one's laughable. The next one's absolutely laughable. Buffalo and the stinky Oshawa. Stinky Oshawa. What do you pick? Buffalo's -250. The over-under scares me because Buffalo could go on a heater. You never walk away from a heater. That's the number 1 rule in Vegas. Never walk away from a heater. So what do? I did something I've never done in the NLL. I'm giving up 2.5 points. And you know what? I'm not even scared of it. I'm going Buffalo -2.5. -2.5. The boys are coming off a 6-point win against Rochester, a 10-point win against the Del Biancos, right? A 1-point win against the Rush. It's the Rush. A 1-point win against the Seals. It's the Seals. They beat the My Mammoth by 3. They beat the Rock by 5. They can't beat Oshawa by 3 or more? Let's go. Let's go. Buffalo -2.5. I'm putting my neck out there, babe. You know what I'm getting on Cool Bet? -2.5. Plus money, baby. Plus 102. I'm getting plus 102 on that. I'll put the graphic up for Mike. This is the longest segment I've ever done by myself. Sorry, little Mikey Karvelis. Now, the graphic's going to read just like this. My Mammoth, -190, right on the cusp. Now, Mike, before you blow a gasket, I know on Cool Bet, as of 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Thursday night when I'm recording this, it says -192. Surely, don't call me Shirley, you could find a 190 or better line. So I can go Mammoth money line. This one is a no-brainer, right? The Mammoth want that number 1 seed. Do you really think they're going to let the next to the last team in the league beat them? Hell to the no. Not going to happen. I'm trying to put a little stank on it. It's not going to happen. It really isn't. And the Mammoth just beat them by 2. Not crazy. Like, the Mammoth didn't manhandle Calgary, right? Calgary's a bit of a trek for teams, a bit of a travel thing. But, I mean, Calgary absolutely stinks, folks. They're 5-12. They're worse at home. They score way less goals at home. Way less goals at home. They give up less goals at home because you know why? Nobody wants to be in Calgary. I mean, it's getting a little warmer, so it's probably beautiful there now. But, I mean, for most of the season, nobody wants to be in Calgary. But the Mammoth want that number 1 seed. That's what's in my mind right there. I want the Mammoth money line. I'm going to task little Michael Karvelis to find the line that I need because that's what I want. -192 should qualify. I don't care who you are. If you're gambling, you should be able to bet on anything you want. But Mike's got this arbitrary rule that it's got to be 190 or better. Oh, okay. Now, my next graphic, when I pull it up, is going to say Hard as a Rock versus Rush, not the band. All right? Translation, Toronto, Saskatchewan. Okay, I don't know that I wanted to pick a winner in this. Right? Number 4 versus number 5. They're tied in the standings. Saskatchewan was number 1 for a lot of the season. They're trending down. They're on a 3-game losing streak. Rock are on a 2-game winning streak. I don't think anybody would have predicted that the Rush are falling in the standings and hard. They're on a 3-game losing streak, but that doesn't even tell the story. They've lost 5 of their last 6. You heard me here right. The Saskatchewan Rush have lost 5 of their last 6. That's absolutely insane. They were on a 9-game win streak before this trend started. 9-game win streak. With that in mind, I'm taking the under 21.5. I'm going to explain to you why I'm doing that. If you look at the Rush schedule, right, they've had a lot of under 21s, right? They beat the Seals 12-9. They beat the Warriors 9-8. They beat the Seals 10-9. They lost to the Bandits 8-7. Have they had over 22 or more games? Absolutely they have. They beat the Swarm 7-4. So, okay, we'll go to Toronto, Beb. Okay, Beb. Look at Toronto. 16 combined against Ottawa. 12 combined against San Diego. 21 combined against the Fly Like a Birds. Philadelphia Flies Away. Right? Plenty to go over. That's fine. But the other thing I noticed, Nick Rose, 81.6% save percentage. I don't even know why I have to defend my picks, right? Sigliano, 79%. Tight, 4 versus 5. Playoffs are coming up. Playoffs don't want to do anything too crazy, I don't think, at this point. Either team, they're locked in. And you have one team that's a little hungrier than the other. I like the under 21.5. Hard as a Rock versus Rush, not the band. Now, the last one, Flyaway Wings versus the Vancouver Del Biancos. Hear me out. I'm going under 20.5, which is going to be minus 110 on coolbet.com, courtesy of all of our friends of Daily Dive that promote coolbet.com. Thanks to my VPN to get the lines, because I'm in Montreal, according to them. I'm going to bring my picks up. I went Flyaway Wings and the Vancouver Del Biancos under 20.5. I feel like this is almost a no-brainer. Del Bianco, 81.5% save percentage. Okay? That's all I have to say. Go to Philadelphia, Beb. And I know they have nothing to play for. It's okay. But you know what? There's this thing called pride. And Nick Daymood is 81.4. So I'm going to bring up all goalies, save percentage. I wish I could do, minimum games played. And I got to sift through the minimum games played. There you go. So that's not going to count. He's not going to count. Brett Dobson's number 1. Nick Rose. Okay, so 2. So Del Bianco, based on this, is 3. Daymude is 4. And they're separated by 0.1%. In racing world, you make the podium if you're top 3. I'm thinking pride's going to kick in with these goalies. I want to beat him out for, being a top 3 goalie of the year. Del Bianco, 81.5% save percentage. Daymude, I hope I'm saying that right, 81.4%. I think these goalies are going to lock that stuff down, and we're going to be under 20.5. Boom! Nailed it. Chateau Saint Michel, Indian Wells, Merlot, Gamble Guy, Daily Dive. I love being on this show. I'm killing it this year. This is the longest segment I've ever done. I'm apologize to Michael. Hopefully it's not too long. There's my picks. Seals money line, Swarm and Gloucester under 21.5, Ottawa plus 1.5, Buffalo minus 2.5, my Mammoth money line, Hard as a Rock and Rush under 21.5, Flyaway Wings and the Del Biancos under 20.5. Keep it real up in the field, all right? Peace.
You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com. Thanks for listening. You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com. Thanks for listening.
welcome back to Daily Dive. We appreciate Gamble Guy for doing that for us. Oh, man, he was clueless. I mean, I can't say clueless because right now he is second in our best bet standings going into the final week 21. Pat Gregoire has the lead at 59.21%. I'm at 57.14. Gamble Guy's at 58.14. He also is the only one with 50 wins right now. But again, we appreciate him. Pat Gregoire has provided his best bets. Stay tuned for those. But first, let's get to Gamble Guys right away. So, there you have it. Again, he takes a 50-36 record into week 21. He's got a Seals money line versus Vegas for game 1. Rochester, Georgia, under 21.5. Black Bears to cover the 1.5 against the Thunderbirds. He's got the Bandits minus 2.5 against Oshawa. That can be found at plus 116 on FanDuel. His Mammoth money line, there was a minus 160. There you go. And of course, Toronto, Saskatchewan under 21.5 and Philadelphia, Vancouver under 20.5 are both on Cooler Bets. Cooler Whip from Family Guy. Cooler Whip. It's hard to say. All right, next up, here's my best bets. All right, I'd say a 48-36-1 record coming into this weekend. I've got 6 of them. Thunderbirds money line against the Black Bears. I do think the T-Birds are playing better. I know the Black Bears just lost to 3 contenders. I still think the Birds their goaltending is what sets them apart in this game. I can see the Black Bears offense going straight to sleep for a while. Unless Jeff T does something crazy, I think we're safe here. That's a minus 118 on Coolback. Buffalo Bandits and the Oshawa Firewolves under 23.5. That can be found at minus 105 on multiple books. 12 games this season have gone under 23.5 for the Bandits, and 9 of them have gone under that mark for Oshawa. That's where I'm at. I've got the Rush to bounce back and beat the Rock in Saskatchewan, minus 130 on BetMGM. Shame on you, CLL. Shame on you. And then I've also got the same game, the Rock and the Rush under 21.5. 9 games this season have gone under 21.5 for Saskatchewan. 8 of them for Toronto. I said that earlier in today's show. Next up, give me the Warriors to beat the Wings by over 1.5 goals. That can be found at minus 160 on the BetMGM. Warriors have won by that spread 9 times this year. And also, give me the under 20.5. Can be found at Coolbet. It's 19.5 on the United States books. But listen to this. 10 games this season for Vancouver have gone under 20.5. 10 of them for the Wings have done the same. I think the history is on my side. I'm very excited for that. And finally, the man who leads us right now, he gives us 4 bets, and Pat Gregoire also told me that he might add more player props before the weekend is done. But right now, only 1 game is available for those, hence the Adam Patra points. So, Adam Patra over 3 points against the Seals tonight. Here's the thing for Patra. I love Patra. Chase, this kind of takes in the fact, maybe if Chase Frazier's back, this helps you. If he's not back, it also helps you because he'll be scoring more. So it's interesting to see how that works out, whether Frazier's back or not tonight. It also gives Pat a chance to have another push, which would basically just another win or a loss, keep your percentage intact. I see you, Pat. He's also got the Bandits to cover against the Firewolves. Again, all of these odds are based on Coolbet. So again, he likes that at plus 102. The Rock to cover 1.5 against the Rush, pretty much predicting either a Rush victory, either predicting a Rock victory or the Rock to lose a nail biter by 1. I love that pick. And of course, the Rock Rush under 21.5 as well, which I believe all of us had that on our card. Yeah, we did. So there you go. Best part is none of us knew what the other bets were. even me, before I give these guys bets, I'm refusing to look at their bets until I see my own. So it's interesting how all of us came up with that number. Makes you wonder. But yeah. Thank you so much for watching this show. This is our final regular season show of season 4, so that makes me excited. We have been through a lot on season 4. I mean, a lot. Forget the drama. Just so much has changed for Daily Dive. We appreciate all of you for hanging around. We still have an entire playoffs to cover, Daily, so don't think that we're just going away now. But I find it so awesome that we have completed 4 regular seasons. It's got to feel good. It does feel good. We're going to hold on. Do one more time. All right. Oh, not that one. No, we're doing right. Yeah. Unbelievable. 4 regular season goes. Thank you, Utica Yeti, for tuning in. And so many new commenters this year, too. And again, we still have an entire playoffs to cover, so we really appreciate you guys for tuning in. The latest episode of OTCB dropped as well. If you have not checked that out, search up OTCB Podcast on YouTube. That's Pat Gregoire and Teddy Jenner, the best broadcaster in the NLL, breaking things down. I guess we'll see you guys Monday. I believe Captain will be in Oshawa tomorrow to meet the Bandits if you're there. Thank you again for watching. Have a safe and fun weekend. Interact with us on social media at DailyDiveLEX. As always, Twitter is easier to chirp me. Instagram, you kind of have to comment or DM, and who knows when we'll see that, right? But we'll see you guys Monday, same time, same place. North American Talk Radio's YouTube channel. For the record, and as always, I have been your host, Michael Karvelis. That was the regular season of the NLL 2025-26. We'll see you Monday back here at the playoffs on Daily Dive.